Welcome to The Debrief. I'm your host, Summer Hashmi, joined by my co-host,
Sophia Palumbo.
And today, we're going to be chatting about sports, sipping some tea, and getting the scoop on everything sexism.
Right.
Today's episode is called Why So Sexist? So without further ado, Soph, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about what we'll be chatting about today?
Right. So today's obviously going to be a heavier topic. This is not something that's really fun to talk about. It's obviously a really awful thing that women have to deal with traditionally in the sports space,
100%.
Obviously in real life as well, but especially in sports. So we just kind of wanted to highlight some specific stories. There's some just situations that Summer and I want to talk about. There's going to be similar themes here. Kind of ideas of like that there's a man's getting credit for what a woman does, or ideas of femininity need to shift, especially in like women, I guess, have a pressure to be feminine and be pretty and beautiful but still athletic. So that's again going to be a common theme, being referred to athletes being referred to as wives or mothers or girlfriends, whatever that may be. It still kind of upholds those things as being the most important thing despite their athleticism. So these are just kind of the common themes that we're going to see brought up during the episode. But to get into our first subject, let's talk about Brandi Chastain.
So this is a good one.
So for everybody that doesn't know, she's an American soccer player. At the 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup, she scored the game-winning goal. In the heat of the moment, she took off her shirt to reveal her black Nike sports bra underneath. To me, it's a great moment. It's a very iconic moment. It's not just an iconic moment in women's sports. It's just an iconic moment in sports
in general.
Period.
Yeah.
But it was met with really mixed reactions. A lot of people thought it was inappropriate. There was just a lot of weird discourse surrounding it.
I don't understand that because, First of all, why is a bra so
offensive?
Yeah. Like, why is it so taboo? It's a bra.
Right.
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? There's that. But there's also, like, I'm sorry, if I go into a gym nowadays, right, granted this was also in another time, but if I walk into a gym, most girls in the gym or most women in the gym are wearing a matching set. So that's a sports bra, like a cute little bralette with either a pair of leggings or a pair of shorts.
Right.
And some of them will wear a sweatshirt on top, but that they'll use that as a pump cover.
Yeah.
And later on they'll take it off and then they'll keep working out.
Yeah. So and there's no problem with that.
No, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why it's such a big deal.
Yeah, at the time, it was getting called out for being inappropriate, which men do the same thing. When they do it, it's called maybe excessive. To be fair to FIFA, they do have the same rules in place for both the men's and the women's game. Neither gender is supposed to take off their shirt when they score a goal. But the point is that it was met with mixed and different reactions.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you, if Ronaldo took his shirt off,
it's just like,
nobody would be complaining. Yeah, like, it's another day at the office.
No, for real. But like, she does it, and it's like, and she takes it off, by the way. She's ripped. Like, she is jacked. Yeah. In the picture, she's like on her knees. She's giving a flex. Like, she is ripped. It's just weird because I don't know if it was because it was like a weird reminder that, oh, she's a woman, and the bra was a reminder of that. I don't know what it was, but it was just, people thought it was inappropriate. Which was unfortunate. I think it's a great moment. Yeah. I think it's a great moment.
So do I. I don't understand why it's met with such weird reactions.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to our next subject.
Eugenie Bouchard.
Love her.
This girlie has been met with just so much like BS.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but just there's kind of two things that happen with her that we want to talk about. The first thing is that she won a match at the Australian Open. And after this, she was giving the post-game interview, like, on the court. This is when, like, the interviewer it was an Australian guy. He interviews her right after the win. And the first thing he says to her is, "Can you give us a twirl and tell us about your outfit?"
Can you give us a twirl and tell us about your outfit?
She just won a game.
Yeah. Yeah, she just defeated this player.
Like, that's craziness.
Yeah.
You would never ask Sidney Crosby
Give us a twirl.
Can you give us a twirl?
Give us
Are
a
those
twirl.
new Bauer skates?
Yeah, let's see them. Give us a spin.
Like, nobody's asking Crosby that.
Right.
Nobody is asking Ronaldo, oh, are those new cleats?
Right.
Let me see those cleats. Can we
get a zoom in on
the... Can you, like, do a little...
kick. Give it a little kick for us.
Like, nobody's asking them to do that.
Right.
It's all about, like, how'd you feel when you scored that last goal? Or what did it mean to you to win another gold medal? Or, like, more stuff that's relevant to their athleticism.
Right. This had literally nothing to do with her, like you said, athleticism.
Exactly.
It was a purely focusing on her visual aspect as number one. I can understand if this was something that was asked at the very end of the interview when things are a bit more lighthearted. It's more passable that way. It's still inappropriate, but more passable. But for it to be literally the first thing out of his mouth, and she does it, she gives the spin, but it's like, it's awkward, and you can tell she's uncomfortable. She's like, when he says it, she like gives a little laugh. She's like, like it was weird.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
Why do, again, this is a generalization, but why do men feel the need to ask dumb questions? Like, I know they say, oh, there's no such thing as dumb questions. No, there are.
That was a dumb question. Yeah. But that's just the first thing. Again, this is something that prioritizes her looks over her athleticism. That's the key point of that. But furthermore, there's a man named Adam Creek. He's a Canadian professional rower. He competed in the Olympics for Canada. In 2016, he went on CBC, and the topic of Eugenie came up. And basically, he made fun of her or critiqued her for basically having brand deals. She had recently posted a picture of herself holding a tube of Colgate toothpaste and on her Twitter, and it was basically just she's just the sponsor. So it's like buy the Colgate, look how white my teeth are is basically the essence of it. And so he went on CBC and he said, quote, she's posting pictures of herself, she's holding up the toothpaste, and she's trying out different hairstyles, and maybe she wants something different than to be a competitor.
That's crazy. Have you seen any hockey player during playoff season? Like, I'm
Get
sorry.
that critique?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at Willie Nylander. Perfect example. I think over the past 5 years, the man's gone through 8 different hairstyles.
He's changing it up on us.
Yeah.
He tries stuff out. Yeah.
Nobody's commenting. I mean, people should be commenting on his hair and the cool things he's been doing, but nobody does.
Even if they do, it's not something that takes away from his value as an athlete.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these guys grow out stashes and stuff. Nobody's talking about their beard and changing things up. During playoffs. Like, I don't understand why it's a big deal for women to change their hair. Like, I would think that's natural and normal.
She's holding the toothpaste and she's trying out different hairstyles. That part specifically, it's like, when are men not doing the same? Men have brand deals as well.
Like we talked about in the first episode, they're the blueprint for all of this.
Right.
So they started the brand deals.
Right.
And I guarantee you, on Team Canada, you had brand deals. As a rower,
100%.
As an athlete, you should know better.
Right.
Than to make a comment like that. Because the amount of athletes, for example, Gillette is a perfect one. Gillette, Head and Shoulders. I think Patrick Mahomes is associated with Head and Shoulders.
Yes, he is, yeah.
He's always in those ads on TV.
And does that take away from him as an athlete?
No.
Or does he have different priorities than to be a real competitor?
Exactly.
No, he doesn't.
Nobody's questioning his ability to throw a football.
Yeah. Head and Shoulders shampoo has nothing to do with football.
Exactly.
They are not something that's related.
Just like how tennis has nothing to do with toothpaste.
Yeah.
They don't, like...
Yeah.
You're just trying to make some money at the end of the day.
And
that's what it is.
Fine.
That's what it comes down to.
Get your brand deal. Get your bank.
Money.
That's not something that should be... And he did get called out for this, rightfully so.
Good.
But it's just... This doesn't even need to be a discussion in the first place. Her name 100%. And you critiquing her for having a sponsor and her doing her job with that sponsor is not something to be critiqued.
100%.
Her having her hair done does not mean that she's any less of an athlete or that she doesn't care about being a quote-unquote true competitor.
She's human.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but I change my hair every 4 months.
Yeah.
I get it colored, I get it cut, short, long, bangs.
Yeah.
You name it, I've had it.
Right.
And usually I change it up because I like change.
Right.
A haircut is a reflection of you as a person, and when things change in life, you want a haircut because you want to feel like a different person. You want to look like a different person.
Yeah. And so who cares if she does that?
Exactly.
It's so irrelevant to her as an athlete. It's actually there's no correlation.
Personal decision. She can make that. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to our next subject, Imane Khelif.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of controversy on her this summer, especially at the Olympics.
Right. So just to give basically a quick rundown of what happened at the recent Paris 2024 Olympics, she competed in boxing. She's a boxer from Algeria. And in a match against an Italian boxer, they did about 2 rounds. Imane got in 2 hits, 2 punches to the face on this Italian girl. And after the second hit, the Italian girl basically bowed out. She's yelling. If you watch the video, you can see on the ring, she's yelling to her coach on the side, "It's not fair, it's not fair." She basically, that's insinuating that, like, I'm competing against somebody that should not be competing with or against women. So then this translated into a lot of transphobic discourse happening online. Imane received a lot of hate.
And that was sparked by the media. I'm sorry. They created this chaos.
Right.
And people on social media came in and were like, hey, what the heck? Like, calm down.
And she's filing a lawsuit.
As she should. As she should.
She got bullied online. And just to be clear, she's not trans. She was born a woman. She identifies as a woman. She's competed in women's boxing her whole life. Mark Adams, who is a spokesperson for the IOC after this whole thing happened, he gave a press conference about it, and he said that the gender test results for testosterone were not perfect, which can be understood as basically her results were not in the regular numbers for women, but she's still a woman. She identifies as that. That's what's on her passport. Like, she's
doing her thing.
Yeah, like, it was in the close enough numbers related to other women that they allowed her to compete.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the IOC had already made that decision to let her be there and compete against other women. This probably wouldn't even have been a topic if this Italian boxer didn't bow out, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, well, I don't understand why it was such a big deal that she was able to do that. Like, I mean, I think there's like that element of genetics and strength, and different ethnicities kind of bringing like different character traits to the table.
Right.
Like, for example, I know like Pakistani people are not, like, I have a long history of diabetes. That's just genetics. My parents had it. My grandparents had it, my great-great-grandparents had it, their parents, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Right? So there's certain elements that are kind of out of your control.
Right. She might just come from a strong family.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just like, it's like the fact that was, like, they were questioning all sorts of things. It's just like, it's just disappointing. Like, we're in 2024, people.
Right.
We're in 2024. Get your stuff together.
100%.
But moving on to our next subject, I guess, Serena Williams. This is an interesting story.
Yeah, she's definitely faced a lot in her career. I feel like this is probably, honestly, the most famous, I guess, occurrence that she's been through. But basically, to just quickly go over it, in 2018, she was competing in the U.S. Open final against Naomi Osaka. She basically got called out by the umpire for receiving coaching from the sidelines. She did not believe that that's what was happening. She was like, that's not happening, basically. She had, I don't want to say an outburst because it wasn't an outburst, but she had a disagreement with the ref and she was fighting for herself. He was not having any of it. He did not agree with her at all. He really wanted to call her out for this, which was something that she did not believe that she was doing. But basically, the media reported it as an outburst, a freak out, a temper tantrum.
Of course they did, because they have nothing better to do.
Yeah, she got framed that way.
Yeah.
When it really wasn't that bad. You watch the clip, she raises her voice a bit, but at the end of the day, she's still saying things like, excuse me, and sorry, and please. Like, she's using those courteous terms.
Yeah.
So she never swore, never used a swear word, and she never She never screamed at the top of her lungs. She raised her voice, but she never screamed. And she got framed this way.
I'm sorry. You have a person like Serena Williams, who at that point in 2018, she'd been playing for God knows how many years of tennis.
Yeah,
right?
20 years roughly, yeah.
Probably, right? So why are we questioning somebody? They would never. If that was like, again, Sidney Crosby, somebody I know, he would never be questioned by any ref. Actually, my dad made this comment, and I didn't really realize it until recently, but people like Crosby and Ovechkin, and like there's some guys that are just, they're protected. Nobody's coming after them. Players are afraid, refs are afraid. Like, not to say that Crosby's a dirty player and he should be getting penalties all the time, but how often does he get penalties?
Right.
Very rarely.
But Serena is still attacked.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, she's attacked. If it was a man that was
doing that was talking back against the ref,
it would have been flipped the other way.
100%. But because she's a woman, she's fighting for her opinion, you're automatically going to get described as like hysterical.
Yeah.
You show just a little bit more emotion and you're already met with things that men would not be met with.
I'm sorry, but no offense to Naomi Osaka. She's a great tennis player. But at that point in her career, she was probably, like, she's 27 now.
She was
newer to the tennis scene at that point, right? At that level.
Right.
When you're comparing her to, it's like comparing Connor Bedard to Crosby. Right? Like, he's at the beginning of his career and Crosby's towards the end. Like, he has a lot more experience.
Right.
I'm sorry. If I'm playing somebody who has like way less experience, I'm not going to need that
coaching
kind of
from the sideline.
Exactly. Right? Like, I don't play tennis like that, but I'm sure like she's able to play her game without needing extra assistance.
100%. It's not something that, I don't want to say it's not logical, but like if you really like look at it from that angle, it's like, does she really?
Yeah, it's common sense, I would say.
Yeah.
And the umpire who was on at the game that day was clearly not using their common sense.
Right. And she was frustrated. The head of the US Open came down, 2 people came down, 2 high-ranking officials that she could talk to. And she said to them, quote, "There are a lot of men out here who do a lot worse, but because I'm a woman, you're going to take this away from me. That is not right." She's not stupid. She knows that, she's a woman. On top of that, she's a black woman. So she's a lot more likely to be framed as, again, quote unquote, hysterical
and she's
over dramatic.
So she's, 100%.
Emotional. Like, these terms are going to be used towards her.
100%.
So she knows what's happening.
Yeah.
So she calls on their officials. Again, the call rules still. Osaka ends up winning the game. But the point is that she was framed this way when she did not deserve to be framed this way. There are men, especially in tennis, who act a lot worse, as she said.
Rackets are broken, shoes are thrown, balls are thrown.
Yeah, like you will have Nick Kyrgios swearing, yelling, not only at the umpire, at the spectators, at the other opponent. He will swear and yell at everybody.
And he was regarded...
He doesn't even get close to being framed this way. Instead, he's framed as tennis's bad boy.
Gotta love
he's
that.
He's the bad boy. And he's just letting off steam, taking out his frustration. Those same terms are not afforded to Serena Williams.
No, because we're women. Women are hysterical and over-emotional and dramatic, and we want to cause a scene.
Exactly.
Right? These are all things that we'd love to do because we have... ample time on our hands to do that.
We have no control over ourselves.
No. We're not composed or poised at all. We just yell at people for the sake of yelling at people.
Yeah.
And yelling, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Right? This would be considered yelling. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of male refs to begin with, so I have my own beef with them. But
But we're on her side.
100%.
We're on her side.
Serena.
It should not have happened this way, and it should not have been framed this way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to another female icon from North America, we have Christine Sinclair. This is one of my favorite stories, probably all episode, just because this is more...
We see it to this day.
Yeah.
We see it today in our own personal conversations.
Yeah, 100%. But why don't you give us a little bit of info on it?
For sure. So for those that don't know, Sinclair is the player with the most international goals. She has 190 goals for Canada. When you search this up, though, it does not appear this way. It is framed that Ronaldo and Messi are the top goal scorers. I literally searched it up, what soccer player has the most international goals, and the first article to appear was from the official Olympic website, and the title of the article was Most Goals in International Football, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi Top Scoring Charts. It doesn't specify men's international football, it just says international football. And then in the subtitle, which you have to actually click on the article to read or to see it, it says Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi are the top 2 international goal scorers in men's football. Only then is it clarified that this is a stat just for men's soccer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it totally diminishes Sinclair's record.
Oh, yeah. And the website's not the only place. I remember last World Cup in Qatar, TSN or Sportsnet and CBC, I think actually all three, posted about this record, about Ronaldo's record. Yeah. And it's funny enough, he was actually the third person, if we're talking about everybody, to break that record. Because in the Women's World Cup, Christine Sinclair had broken it, but before her, there was a Brazilian soccer player in the 90s who had broken that record first. Well, set the record, and then Christine Sinclair had achieved that as well. I think actually she surpassed, I think. And then finally, Ronaldo won it last year, right? So, like, again, same thing. Her record completely diminished. And the craziest part is, especially in Canada, where soccer is not, like, it's not one of the big 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not, Not one of the big 4,
Yeah, or big 4, sorry, for that matter. Just because of, like, the way it's laid
We're not diehard like that.
We're not soccer fans out here. Let's be so for real. So it's just interesting to see, like, last year, our men's team qualified for the first time in 24 years.
Right.
Embarrassing.
And everybody lost their minds.
Yes. Meanwhile, our women's team
have been dominating for years.
Yeah. Gold medals every day.
Yeah.
They eat gold medals for breakfast, dinner, and lunch.
Yes, literally.
And it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing that
the men literally do the bare minimum of making it. And
they lost in the first round.
Yeah, and they are praised this way, but women will make it to the end, literally win Olympic gold in Tokyo. Yeah. And it's celebrated and it's reported on, which is of course amazing, but it's not heralded to that same level.
Well, even in the World Cup, so the Women's World Cup happens a year later. Right. And usually Canada and the States end up finishing in at least the top 5 teams normally. Right. Don't quote me on that. We'd have to fact check that. But normally, usually between Spain, France, the U.S., Canada, like they're usually in the top 10 at the very least.
Yeah, they do well.
They make it far.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate to see that the love is not shared both ways.
Yeah, and again, this is a website from the Olympics.
Official, yeah.
This is the official Olympic website written by a male journalist. And then I did this myself. I had to scroll past 5 articles before it was specified that Ronaldo was the record holder for only the men's game, and that Sinclair is actually the leader was only stated in the 6th article. So if you're on Google and you're just doing a quick search, you're going to see the first few that comes up, and you're going to think it's Ronaldo. It's not.
That's so embarrassing.
It's not.
That's embarrassing for the IOC. They're also problematic in their own which ways.
Yeah.
But that's honestly, it's disappointing.
Right. It definitely is. Again, she obviously deserves the credit.
Oh,
and she deserves to be known as holding that record.
She is a GOAT.
And it's not like it's close. Ronaldo's at 132. She's at 190. So, like, she is, I would consider that, like, dominating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's a much higher number. So
that's crazy.
She's much above him, and she deserves that credit 100%.
Anyways, moving on to our final subject. This is actually a funny one because it's kind of like not what you expect, but Alicia Newman has an OnlyFans account.
Right. So for everybody that doesn't know, Alicia Newman is a Canadian pole vaulter. She just recently won bronze at the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Slay.
Of course, big slay. And so she recently gave an interview. And it was an interview about pole vaulting, but the final question was about her OnlyFans account, which she has been running since Tokyo 2020 when she competed in that games. And so the journalist asked about that, and she gave a quote on it, and the article was published, but that was the only part of the article that people were really locked in on and focusing on. So it kind of just blew up that she has an OnlyFans. So she gave an interview about it in a podcast recently. And it really brings up the discussion of not should women be able to profit off of being sexualized in sports, but essentially that.
Yeah.
I'm somebody that believes girl profit off of it. If you're going to be sexualized anyway, especially when you're literally in like a bra and underwear and you're up there pole vaulting, like it's going to happen. So if you're going to open your own OnlyFans and you're going to try to profit off of that yourself, 100% do it.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, and then somebody else will flip the script and go, well, if they're doing that, then don't complain. Well, don't complain when this and this and this happens. Or if they do that, then obviously they're not going to be looked at as an athlete. Well, if we take this away, sir or ma'am, you're still going to sexualize them.
Right.
So don't go off and try to be the, like, that person that goes, well, it's their fault. Don't flip it around.
Yeah, do not try to blame her.
Yeah.
Blame her for that.
Like, that's where I get annoyed. Because then people,
it's something that happens first, and then this is the OnlyFans that's created because of that. She realizes that's happening, so she's like, okay, I'm going to try to profit off of this thing that's already happening to me. She said herself, how can I capitalize on an income from the Olympics and also my brand? And I was like, let's launch an OnlyFans. And within the first hour, again, she launched it when she was competing at the Tokyo Olympics. She had 2,500 people sign up for $30 an hour.
Oh, wow.
So get the bag.
Yeah, no, for real. Get that
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to be clear as well, it's not like porn on there. She said herself about OnlyFans, I still love it, and I still get to talk to some fans who have been following me since I started Instagram, and people get to watch me pole vault every week. I go live every Wednesday on my OnlyFans. People get to watch me pole vault at practice. It's something fun for me. It's not about porn or any of that. I mean, for Halloween, I did do Sexy Saturday. I'll do stuff like that, but it's not nudes. It's not me naked, and I don't like telling people that because then they won't sign up.
And wasn't there a guy who commented?
Yeah, and so she said this, which I got a kick out of. I was like, she's right, and she thought it was funny too. She laughed, but then I go through the comments. That's where the concerning things were. There was men in the comments, of course. One of them said, "Yup, thanks for saying no nudes. I won't be signing up," which is again why she doesn't say that. She proved herself right. But she was referred to as a thing twice. She was referred to as a narcissist. She was, quote unquote, taking advantage of men who she's not taking advantage of them. They have their own free will to sign up. Nobody's forcing y'all to sign up. Yeah. Like, you can sign up if you want to or not. She's not taking advantage of anything. She's taking advantage of a world that's already sexualizing her.
Exactly.
So she might as well profit off of it.
Exactly.
The most concerning one was, and this is quote, "These things are allowed to vote," which...
Bro, be so for real.
Yeah. It's because they were like... And he specified this in the comment. He quoted them. They were talking about how it's something that empowers her. She feels empowers having an OnlyFans. And the interviewer basically agreed with her and was like, yeah, like, you're right. Like, if that empowers you, great.
What empowers you as a person is a personal thing.
Right.
So what that looks like for everybody is different.
Yeah.
Some people wear makeup and that's what makes them feel good. Some people have a good meal and that's what makes them feel good. Some people will fix their hair up or wear a specific outfit or sing a song or listen to music. Like, everybody's form of empowerment looks different.
Right.
And so for him to be there and say, well, no, that's not right. You can't do that. Like, that's so dumb, in my opinion.
It's when women own their sexuality, it's not something that's met with...
Well, no, I feel like it
approval.
intimidates them.
Right.
It intimidates them.
Yeah. And it questions their intelligence. He's questioning their intelligence because this is something that empowers her.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see people like that. But what do you do?
Yeah, there's no winning because...
No, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, there's no winning for her.
Yeah, no. I guess that wraps up all of our stories for today.
For sure, yeah.
I guess this takes us into our next segment, Hype Queen of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is your Hype Queen of the Week this week?
I'm going to go with Suni Lee this week. She is somebody that I have been obsessed with since Tokyo. I just think that she's just so cool. I love her personality. She's obviously an incredible athlete. She's somebody that just always slays to me at the competitions. Obviously, she does really well, but she also she's another one where, like, she does her makeup, like, it makes her feel good, like, she competes like that.
Yeah.
I love that she embraces that feminine side to her. Again, it's not something that we consider, especially in gymnastics, that's something that's really important. It's considered an aesthetic sport. You kind of have to look good while doing it.
100%.
But she's just somebody that, she's obviously an incredible athlete, and I love what she stands for, I love what she does, so she's my hype queen this week.
Mine has to go to Simone Biles.
Gymnastics girlies.
Yeah, this week it's all about the gymnastic girlies. No, I think she's brilliant. I think she's so brilliant. She is a resilient person. She's she's overcome a lot of adversity, injury-wise, mental health-wise. Like, gymnastics is such a demanding sport, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And like the fact that she's able to overcome all of that and continue to compete is incredible. And like, she's so cute. Like, she was at, I believe it was her husband's football game. Right. She's supporting him, wearing his team's colors, and I just love how she's been able to flip the script.
Right. Like, she does it all.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. He's Mr. Simone Biles to me. I know he has his
the
own
wig.
Yeah,
he's the wig. Yep.
And also, like, her feistiness. Like, I don't know if you saw that tweet or the Instagram caption, that she posted after they won gold.
Yeah, she'll stir it up.
It was so funny. Like, I just love how fierce she is. But yeah, no, she's definitely my hype queen of the week this week.
Slay. Love them both.
No, for real.
Love them both.
I guess this wraps up our episode today. Oh, so sad to finish this up. But thanks, everyone, for listening. This is going to be a little plug here, but check us out on our website and our socials. Our socials are linked down below. You'll see them.
Be free to comment on our socials and our forum on our website. We would obviously love to hear from you guys. We'd love to talk about what you guys say. So if you guys leave us any opinions, any questions, we'd love to address them.
And this week we'd love to see you guys either comment or list some other stories that we might have missed.
There's definitely a lot. There's a lot more.
Yeah, so
we could go on forever about stories of this, but these are just kind of some key ones that we wanted to talk about.
100%. So either comment down below or hit us on our website, but definitely comment down your interesting sexism story, whether it's personal or an athlete that you know of. We love to hear it. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Bye.
Bye.